What's going on, folks? We're going to be hitting up on point-slope formula. Now, there's a whole bunch of equations that I'm asking you to memorize. And yet, I'm kind of not asking you to memorize. All right. There's that one equation that goes like m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And do you remember what that equation is? What's that equation for? It's the slope equation, right? And then I told you, okay, now there's another formula, the y equals mx plus b. Today we're going to introduce you in even a different formula, and this is the point-slope formula. This is called point-slope. And it's where you have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Write that down. It's important. All right? And then I think there's another one. All right, this is called the slope-intercept. There's the point. All right, so this is the slope formula. So we got the slope formula, the slope-intercept formula, the point-slope formula, all of that kind of jazz, right? And it's a whole bunch. And I'm not really a big fan of point-slope formula and slope-intercept. Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, yes, Sophia, it is a pre-algebra thing. And you would not believe how many of my Algebra 2 students get screwed up with this pre-algebra stuff. But that's why we're going over with it. All right, see this slope-intercept form? Yeah, what is that?
Your comp screen isn't showing on my screen.
Oh. Can everybody else see my computer screen? All right. Then what's going on is the canvas has these little gray windows. You can see the chat window is open on the right-hand side. What you're going to have to do is find the window that says desktop sharing. You want to maximize that. Got it? All right. So, where does this slope formula come from? We talked about that. I mean, really, you have this fancy formula that comes out. You have it, but it's gray. Yeah, they're all gray. What do you mean it's gray? Like it's grayed out and you can't maximize it? Not responding. Oh, okay. All right. What you might want to do, Bianca, is your computer might just be glitching out. And so what you should do is probably log out and log back in. Oh yeah, you don't need. I don't have my webcam going, so you can't see my face. I mean, I figured you don't need to. Hopefully, everyone else can see my computer screen, though. Yeah, it's the best. It's the only solution really to everything. All right, so check this out. Where does this slope formula come from? This concept. Remember, I told you I don't really like memorizing the formula. I like memorizing this kind of idea. That slope equals what?
M.
Rise over run. It's the change in horizontal distance divided by the change in vertical distance. No, wait. I got that backwards. It's the change in vertical distance divided by the change in horizontal distance, right? So that will lead you to this. Well, guess what, folks? See this point-slope formula? It's really the same thing as this, the first formula. All I did was I took this first formula and I cleared out the fractions. So I have x minus x1, or x2 minus x1, times m equals y2 minus y1. Do you guys see where I got that from? I just took the slope formula, this first one up here, and I multiplied both sides by x2 minus x1. We cool with that? All right. And then what I do is I said, all right, this is saying this. I use this first formula if I have two very specific points and I don't know my m. Okay? That's why there's no subscript on the m. Got it? Whereas this formula right here is if you only have one specific point, or an x and a y coordinate for one of the points, and you do know the slope. So that means I can make something else my variable. And in this case, I'm saying, let's make the second point, let's make it a general x and y. Let's not make it a very specific x and y. So I have this idea of x minus x1 times m equals y minus y1. Is anyone freaked out about that step right there? All right, so essentially all I'm doing, I mean, this is where the thing crosses. And why do we call it the point slope formula? Actually, let's go back. I'm going to write it more like how we usually see it, which is basically just putting the y first. Y minus y1 times m times x minus x1. It's because, it's called the point slope formula because the coordinates x1 comma y1 is talking about a specific point, like 3 comma 5 or 5 comma 8 or pi comma 10 or something like that. That would be your x1 and y1. And it's also talking about a slope. So when do you use the point slope formula? When you know a point and the slope. Boom.
So you only need
Done.
1 point?
You only need 1 point and you need the slope. And that's it. And then you can figure out the equation of the line. Does that make sense to you? All right. Here we go. Let's try this one.
They
Find the
said-
symbolic yoke.
I noticed that the session is not being recorded.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Here's the thing. I think that the canvas wasn't being recorded, but I believe that, yeah, the Snagit, the YouTube one is recorded. Yeah, I'm doing the YouTube recording, but I'm not doing the in canvas recording. I started the in canvas recording, and now all the people are all screwed up. For those of you who want to watch the in canvas one, but I'm not a big fan of that one anyway. Anyway, let's get on to this problem. Check this out. We have 2 points, and here's the line, and it goes like this. They made it a really ugly graph. In fact, they made it so ugly that they didn't even bother putting in the x and y coordinates in there. And they said, here's a line, and this line goes to the points negative 9, comma 31, and the points 31, comma 11. Is that 51 or 31? That's got to, I can't really tell. Let me see. Sorry. I got to zoom in a little bit. We're at 50, let's go to 75%. There we go. That's a 51. Awesome. Okay. All right, are we cool with this? First, what's the slope? I want to figure out what the equation of a line is, but what I really want to do is figure out what the slope is. Let's find the slope. The slope I'll do m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Sometimes I like putting it in a table. So here's my x, here's my output. If I input negative 9, I'm going to get out 31. If I input 51, I'm going to get out 11. Are we cool? All right. So all I got to do is take 11 minus 31 divided by 51 plus 9. Do you understand why I did plus 9? Ikasia?
Yep, because it's both negative. Like there's a negative in front of it.
Yes, because I'm subtracting 9. I'm subtracting negative 9, which means positive plus 9. So really what I'm dealing with here is, what is 11 minus 31? Is that, what, like negative 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I'm dealing with negative 20 divided by 60. Because 51 plus 9 is 60. All right, so my slope is negative 1/3. We cool with that? So I know the slope of my equation. Got it? Now I got to figure out 1 point. I mean, now in order to use the point slope formula, I need my slope and I have a point. In fact, I have more than 1 point. I've got 2 points. So what do? Which one do I choose?
The negative 9.
You want to choose this point or this point?
I guess the second one.
The first or the second?
I don't know. Doesn't matter, right?
All right, Lucas says first. Emily was absolutely correct. What did she say?
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter. You could choose the first one, you could choose the second one. Either one should give you the exact same answer. Because both of those points exist on that line. So which point do I want to choose? I just need one point that exists on the line. Well, both of them do. I could choose either one. In fact, what I like doing is I like choosing one of them, and then I like plugging in my answer on the other one and seeing if I got it correct, if I did it right. That would be my check point. Does that make sense? So to use the point slope formula, I'll write the point slope formula down. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. In this case, let's choose the second one. I don't know, just because I'm lazy. 51 goes in there, 11 goes into there. So I have y minus 11 equals negative 1/3 times x minus 51. Let's simplify this a little bit and solve for y, get it all by itself. So I use this if you know one set of coordinates and the slope. Yes, absolutely, Lucas. You use the point slope formula if you know at least one of the points and the slope. A lot of times they'll give you two of the coordinates, but they won't give you the slope. Well, you can use those two coordinates to find the slope, and then you'll have at least one of those points and the slope, and you'll be done. We good? All right. Anyway, let's calculate this out a little bit. What is what's 51 divided by 3? Do you know? I know what 60 divided by 3 is. 60 divided by 3 is 20, right? So 51 divided by 3 is 9. So isn't it like 17? Yeah, 17. Awesome. Good. All right. And then I need to get y all by itself. So I have y equals negative 1/3 x plus, let's see, 18, 28. By the way, why did I not add 11 to the 1/3? Riddle me that, my friend. I added 11 to both sides here. Why did I not add 11 to the 1/3? There we go, Sophia. Absolutely. Because the 1/3 has an x in front of it. You need to add like terms together. The x is not a like term to the regular numbers. So, boom. Keep it separate. So what is my slope in this particular case?
1/3.
Negative 1/3. It goes down 1/3. That makes a difference. What is my intercept in this particular case?
28.
28. All right, I could dig that. I'm down with that. You're gonna have a lot of homework problems doing that, so you'll want to make sure that you're good with that. Let's see, what time do we got to finish here? 12, 2:10. 2:10. I got 15 minutes left. Let's do this. Here we go. This is a good one. Given, this is number 3. If f1 equals 3 and f of x plus 1 equals f of x plus 1/2, what is the slope and what is the intercept? What is the y equals mx plus b of this equation right here? All right, first of all, what's the slope that we're dealing with? Come on, folks online, spit it out. What is it? Do you know? No?
No, I don't.
All right, all you guys got it wrong, so I guess you don't really know. Would it be 3? No, it's not 3. All right, here. All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this the slow way, and I'll show you how to do it the quick way. Got it? Because I did teach this to you on Wednesday. All right. I'm going to make a little table. This will be my x, and this will be my f of x, or my output. Got it? So I know one thing that goes inside of here. I definitely know that if I put in 1 for x, what's going to come out? 3, exactly. Very good. Because you put in 1, the whole thing is going to equal 3. Does that make sense? They told me that. They told me that right off the bat. All right. What if I put in 2 for x? What is the next? What is going to output? Well, for that, I'm going to refer back to this equation. If I put in a 2, or if I put in a 1 over here, then I'll have
3.
f of 1 plus 1. Like, let's say I let x equal to 1 in this above equation, equals f of 1 plus 1/2. Does that make sense? What is f of 1 plus 1? What is that? That's 2, f of 2. It's telling me f of 2 is equal to whatever f of 1 was plus 1/2. So I would say it's 3.5. Because 3 plus 1/2 is 3.5. We cool? All right. What would f of 3 be? You can get f of 3 by figuring out what, if you plug in x equals 2 into this equation, you'll have f of 2 plus 1 is 3 equals whatever f of 2 was plus 1/2. So that would just be 4. Because 3.5 plus 1/2 is 4. Boom, done. Got it? All right, what if I plug in a 4 here? I'm making a big table here. What's the output going to be if I put in 4? 4.5. Awesome. All right. By how much is this thing increasing each time?
Half.
By half. So what is my slope? 1/2. In fact, I told you that was the table that kind of makes you guys see, oh, okay, I get it. No, it's not 1.5, it's 0.5. But this is the table, and you say, oh, okay, I can see that. Can you see how it works from the table? Would you like to know the super easy way of figuring this out?
Yeah.
It's whatever this number is.
Okay.
This one right here.
That makes sense.
All right. So we have the slope. Do we have a point? Sure, we got a point. We got 4 of them. But I can tell you one that I guarantee I know. I know it's 1, 3. So I have a point and the slope, so I'm going to use the point-slope formula. Point-slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Plugging that in, I'll go y minus 3 equals 1/2 times x minus 1. Expanding that out, I get y minus 3 equals 1/2 of x minus 1/2. Add 3 to both sides, I get y equals 1/2 of x plus 2/2. 2.5, or 5/2. 5/2 is the same as 2.5. 2.5. There we go. So if I ask you what is the slope, you would tell me 1/2. If I asked you what is the y-intercept, it would be 5.5. So Via's saying, wait a second, I thought that this number up here was the y-intercept, right? Well, I gave it to you in this kind of I gave it to you in this slightly different form. And this is not related to the y equals mx plus b. This was a weird way. When I looked at it, I said, that's an interesting way of doing it. But now I look at it, it looks to me like, oh, I could see why they want you to understand this concept of a function. What this is saying here is, the way it's saying there is, you ask me, hey, what is the value of some function at this point right here? And I'll say, oh, okay, well, tell me what the value of that function was in the point right before it. And you'll say, oh, it was 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? And tell me what the slope was. And then, oh, okay, the slope was 3. Okay, then the value that you're looking for is 8. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you ask me the question, hey, what is the value of this function at f of x plus 1? I'll return it with another question and say, well, tell me what the value of f of x was, and I'll tell you what the value of x plus 1 is. Does that make sense? All right. So, let's see. This one looks hard. It's not hard. It's just giving you 2 points, and it's asking you to find the equation. Let's talk about that. I'm not even going to do it for you. Let's talk about it. What is what do I do first? If I have the 2 points, what do I have to do first? Find the slope, absolutely. You find the slope by doing that m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Boom, that's good. After we find the slope, we have a slope. Do we have at least a point?
Mm-hmm.
Sure we do, we got 2 of them. So we plug that into the point slope formula and we'll be done. Bada bing, bada boom. We cool? Alright, this right here, number 6, is actually a sneaky way of giving you 2 points. Because this is saying if I input x equals -3, the output will be 3. If I input 9, the output will be 11. So the way that works is if I made a table, it would be -3, 3. This is input, this is output. And over here would be 9, 11. We cool with that?
Yeah, get it.
Alright. I know that I don't have any more time. I've got 7 more minutes, but let's see. The rest of this is homework. Solving equations in the form. Oh, hey, this one's really important. Yeah, that one's super important. In fact, I probably won't be able to finish this class today, or this chapter today. It looks to me like I have to finish this chapter on Wednesday. So this looks like it's a good place to leave off, because f of x equals g of x is kind of an important thing that I want to walk you guys through. Got it? All right. So, fast question before I leave. Any problems with my assignments? I think I fixed we only found one problem. Is there any other problems with my assignments? All right. Am I going at a good pace, or is this way too fast?
Good. This
is good? I feel like I want to try to speed up. Do you think that that would be allowed, or do you guys want to be like, no, I cannot do it? All right, fine.
No.
I'll stay at this pace then. I really wanted to try to cover all of Chapter 2 this week. I don't think I'm going to make it.
Hi, Summer.
All right, cool. What did she say before? Wait. Not anything goes on? All right, anyway. Class finished. All done. I hope that helped.